Hello, my name is Jordan Baxter, and this video is dedicated to the two people who inspire me in life. Who inspires me in life is not some famous celebrity, nor is it some monumental figure in history. Rather, it's my parents, Ricky and Elba Baxter. Of course, the point of this video is to show you why they inspire me. But first, I want to take you through their stories and how their lives were before me and my siblings came. First, I'll start with my dad. He was born January 16th, 1975, in Altadena, California. His parents were Jerutha Garrett and Theodore Baxter. Theodore was the city planner for the city of Santa Monica, California. Jerutha, on the other hand, was severely addicted to drugs. This caused her and Theodore to get a divorce when my dad was around 3 years old. About 2 years later, he met his stepdad, Johnny Dunnigan. Jerutha owed money to several loan sharks. This put the family at risk, so they had to move out of California. They moved to several cities across America, such as St. Louis, Missouri, Jasper, Texas, and Winslow, Arizona. My dad would get into several fights with his parents. Because of this, he was always moving in and out of other family members' homes. For example, in Jasper, Texas, he lived in his aunt's house that was directly next to his parents' house. Eventually, the family settled down in Winslow, Arizona, where my dad would spend his high school years. In high school, my dad played three sports. He played football, he was a state champ in weightlifting, and he was also a state medalist in wrestling. However, during school, he would get kind of freaky, like really freaky. So freaky to the point where my dad had two different kids with two different women by the time he was 18. These two are my siblings, Kita and DJ. My dad did not do well in academics. Not because he's not smart, but because he just chose not to. So he had to come up with a plan. So his plan was to join the army. Joining the army was the only way he could think of supporting his two kids. While in the army, he served 3 tours in Iraq during the Second Gulf War and spent a total of 14 years in the army. During his time in the army, he was severely injured, to the point where he was deemed 100% disabled by the military when he retired in 2008. During his time in the military, in 2001, he was stationed in Comayagua, Honduras. This is where he would meet my mom. My mom was born July 21st, 1979, in Comayagua, Honduras. Her parents were Liliana and Arturo Mariaga. From the time she was born until her early 20s, she never left Comayagua, Honduras, and the mountains surrounding it. She never got along with her parents either. Her mom was emotionally unavailable, and her new stepmom was very abusive. Because of this, she would often go up into the mountains where her great grandma lived. She would go back and forth between her mom's house, her dad's house, and her great grandma's house. Her dad was the principal of the local high school, while her mom owned a beauty salon. And in high school, she was not only an A honor roll student, but she was also a soccer superstar. She wished to go to college whenever she was done with school. However, her circumstances just never allowed her to. While in high school, she had to work 2 jobs and constantly take care of her great grandmother, whose health condition only worsened over time. And at her dad's house, she was in charge of all the cooking and the cleaning. So she would wake up, prepare her meals, prepare everyone else's meals, go to school, go to soccer, come back home, clean, and then go to either her mom's house or her grandma's house for a little bit, depending on if it was a weekday or a weekend. One day, she decided to go clubbing with friends. She was in her early 20s around this time. At this club is where she met my dad. My parents hit it off immediately. They fell in love because of their shared love for the show Dragon Ball. Yes, Dragon Ball is why me and my little brother exist. Fun fact, I was supposed to be named Kakarot, but they feared I would get bullied, so they just named me Jordan. My dad knew little to no Spanish, and my mom knew little to no English, but they still hung out every day and were dating without really communicating. Eventually, my dad learned Spanish, not only because my mom helped him, but because he would listen to love songs in Spanish and try and recreate poems out of those songs for my mom. They got married in 2003, and shortly after, my mom became pregnant with me. My dad didn't want her to stay in Honduras as she was having a child, so he planned to move her to the United States. First, they moved to El Paso, and then they moved to Colorado Springs, where I would be born in Fort Carson. I truly appreciate my parents for all they have done. We have always been a low income family, but that never stopped my parents from trying to provide the best possible life for my siblings and I. My older siblings moved out before I turned 9, so I cannot speak on their behalf, but to me, it seemed like they have a great relationship with my parents. My dad even managed to pay for my older brother DJ's wedding a few years ago. I don't think I could have asked for better parents. They have always motivated me to strive for greatness, no matter what I did. No matter if it was football, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, academics, they're always supportive. They have always done so much with the little that they have, and I hope to eventually return that favor to them once I have a stable career.